Good evening and welcome to our next episode of Cooking with Michael and
Candace.
Yay! So first of all, as always, thank you all who watched our last week's episode. Hope you enjoyed it and hope you loved it. It was a lot of fun to make.
Super yummy.
Oh god. So if you watched last week's episode, thank you very much. I made a comment, and I'm gonna come back to haunt me, I'm sure, but I made a comment that I would let Candace take over the show and I would just shut the hell up. And if you all watched, we all know that's probably not going to happen real well, but
I'm going to try.
We're going to try. So, before we get started, a couple things. Real quick, thank you, Andrew, Chapel Beer and Wine. You helped us get ready. This is her first time hosting the show, so she definitely needed this.
And the first day of homework with the kids.
Oh, that's right. Oh, God. How many bottles do you want?
New math.
New math makes no sense. So, Pinot Grigio for me, and of course, she went with a little Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah.
I just want to say Sauvignon Blanc. Okay, so I'll move this out.
I like a little more variety. He's more boring.
Well, that is definitely true. I'm going to take a little more of this. But before we get started, tell us what we're making. I just have one question.
Mm-hmm.
Why is there a plate full of penises on the butcher block?
Well, they're the penises of all men who have annoyed me.
There's only 5 guys who annoyed you?
I'm an introvert. I stay in the house.
Oh, okay. All right, so I'm hoping we're...
Actually, they are bananas. These are overripe, frozen, and thawed bananas. That's why they look so utterly disgusting. Unless...
Limp penises.
Unless you have made banana bread. In that case, these look very, very yummy to you because there's nothing better than a black overripe banana for banana bread. The more overripe, the better.
So I'm guessing that's what we're doing tonight is banana bread.
Yep.
All right, so what I'm going to do is, because Candace said I have to try and shut the hell up, never going to happen. I'm going to move over to that side, and she's going to move over here, and she's going to try to make banana bread because I have no freaking clue how to do it. So, you ready?
I am. The first thing that we're going to do is mash up the bananas.
You're going to mash up the penises?
Yes, we are. Ask me one more dumb question.
No, I'm afraid. Go ahead, do your thing. I'll just stand here like
Yes,
this.
we are going to take the peeling off, and it's a whole lot easier than you think. You just open it a little bit so it can squeeze out easier. Grab it here, and just press, gently squeezing. Bloop. It's kind of gross, but what the heck. Okay, I'm probably only going to mash up 3 of these. If I were to mash up all of them and put them in the banana bread right now, then it would probably not rise well. It would be too heavy because it's got too much moisture.
So wait, the bananas actually keep... this is actually not an inappropriate comment, shockingly, but the bananas keep it from rising? Okay. The bananas keep it from rising?
Only if it's over 40.
Ooh.
So, yeah, it's too much moisture and it creates too much weight. So then your banana bread will not rise. And these banana peels, what do we do with them, sweetheart?
Oh, God, help me. I'm sorry. I'm Candace today. We're going to compost!
Yay! We're going to compost this!
I just want to make sure before you turn it on, you lock it in place. There you go.
I don't use this very often.
Love this thing.
I make mine with a fork. But he said, no, you have to enter the modern era. You can't mash this stuff up with a fork. You're going to turn it all the way up because you want to smash. No, maybe not all the way. You want it up on the higher end because you do want to completely pulverize and smash these bananas. You want them to be as even textured in the bowl so that they mix with your wet ingredients very well and you won't end up with like a clump of slimy banana. Okay, so this is what it will look like in your bowl. If you don't have one of these, a hand mixer will work fine. If you don't have a hand mixer, one of these will do just fine too. It'll just take you longer. All right, so the next step, half a cup of butter, 1 cup of sugar. I prefer brown sugar because it just adds another dimension of subtle flavor, but you can use white sugar if you don't have brown sugar at home. Okay, so you've got your butter and your brown sugar in your bowl, and you're going to stir it, but you're going to start off very slow. And now you can see it starting to incorporate better. This is not done, but it's pretty close. This is what it should look like along the way.
So that's just brown sugar and butter.
Yeah. And it's the best thing ever. Like when you're a kid, can I lick the bowl from the brown sugar and butter, please?
Oh, no, not Michael.
This is what it should look like. Next, we're going to add 2 eggs.
So we went from penises to eggs. We're really just going the whole gamut here.
Okay, so back on topic. We've got our eggs in there. We're adding only wet ingredients here.
Just before you do that, why are we doing wet versus dry separately?
Because you want to mix your wet and dry. You want to do them separately and have them both as mixed as they can be before you put them together. Because once you combine your flour with moisture and you start manipulating it, the more gluten you're going to produce, which
you don't
means
want that for this.
the chewier and more dense it's going to be. So we're going to do 1 teaspoon of vanilla.
Why are we using imitation vanilla?
Because it's affordable and the real stuff is god-awful expensive.
If you watched the show a couple weeks ago, I found that. Yeah, she called me a dumbass.
Mm-hmm.
I'm drinking my Pinot Grigio. Next.
He is one. Okay, now 1 teaspoon of lemon juice.
Lemon. So, you know, when I cook, I don't measure things. You're measuring very carefully. Is there a reason why?
When you bake, you need to be careful. All right, so we're going to mix those in. Actually, you know what? Let's just go ahead and do the bananas as well. Put those back in. So you may be wondering, why do I do these separate from my butter?
I was.
Because I like to lick the fork. I'm just used to making them separately.
So,
It's just a pure gluttony thing.
Okay, so it has nothing to do. Okay.
It has nothing to do with actually, you know.
Nothing wrong with that either. As we all know, food is gluttony.
All right, and mixing. Starting off on low, working my way up higher. Medium. Okay, so this is what it will look like halfway through. So if it starts looking icky and clumpy, no worries. Scrape the sides. And you can turn this up high because you don't have to worry about over mixing your gluten because you haven't added it. So I say turn it all the way up and mix the living hell out of it, because this is really going to be the last chance you get at mixing out anything that's wrong.
I wish we had smell-o-vision because it smells
so
so good. And as we said, this is a great dessert to a regular date night dinner. But also, if you're able to do this, and it's a real easy recipe as you're seeing, again, like we did last week, you're going to be a food gone. That's the whole idea, is to impress your date night, your spouse, your loved one. She impressed me with her baking skills. That's why I offered her health insurance. Moving on. So as you can see, we've moved the mixer out of the way because we're pretty much done with it, right?
Yeah, we're done.
Okay, so
You do not want to put this in the mixer.
okay, why not? Just because it would
Gluten.
overkill?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll encourage more gluten to come out of the flour.
That's right. You said we should
And
gluten bad.
That'll change the texture.
Cool.
Shut up.
Sorry.
Okay, so next we're going to do our dry ingredients. And I do not have one of those little sifter thingies. They look like a cup, and then you squeeze it, and it goes ching, 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 and the flour falls out in the bottom. 1 3/4 cups of white flour.
And for this episode,
Hold on. And because I don't want to have lumps in it, I don't want to have to work it a lot to get the lumps out, you want to sift your flour. That way you don't have any flour clumps, because butter clumps will bake out. Flour clumps, some of them will, most will not. Now you were saying.
well, real quick, it says pre-sifted though. Isn't that the same thing?
You still have to sift it again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, remember that sugar that we got from the grocery store that was a solid block of sugar? There's moisture in shipment. There's moisture in storage at the grocery store. There's moisture in your house. You have to sift.
Gotcha.
So
what I was going to say is, for this episode, I made sure I found out every single thing that we had that we could measure correctly because if you've watched the shows before, thank you. You know I can never find anything, but I found it all for you today.
Thank you, dear.
I had your back.
I appreciate that.
No problem.
You know I can find stuff, right?
Actually, women are better at finding things than men. I just look once and go, fuck, I don't know where it is, and call the wife or call the kids.
Where's the wildebeest?
Yeah, pretty much.
Where's the deer?
Except,
I guess there's no food for the family.
Except my daughter is just like...
Okay, so take your 1 cup of flour and your sifter. Dump it in.
She became French.
Yeah. Go get me a spoon, please. I forgot to ask for a spoon.
I can get some.
Get
By the way, real quick, Karen, cats. Cats, Karen.
Oh, you even got one hanging over the edge.
Yeah, that's for you. Okay.
And he's showing his little pink toe beans. Oh, so cute. Okay, so stir.
And wait till we show you what this looks like when it's done. It looks so much different than what it does when it comes out of the bag. Which is, again, never would have thought of this.
No clumps. Yeah.
No clumps.
All right.
Look at that. Look at that.
So pretty, isn't it?
It looks like cocaine.
Blanche
has
cocaine.
Okay.
Now we need 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda. We get our baking soda in large containers, so I don't have the container for you, but soda. Baking powder comes in the tin. Baking soda comes in the cardboard box. Oh, and salt.
Well, in general,
Half.
you can never put some salt.
Half a teaspoon of salt. And stir.
Why a fork and not anything else?
Because
like
I
a whisk or something, or it's just easier.
Oh, I do have a whisk. Yeah. I don't know.
Just what you're used to?
I just grew up using fork. All right. So I feel I have stirred completely. I'm super paranoid, so I stir my dry a lot longer. Do you see anything in there that looks whiter or shinier?
No, just anyway.
So now it is time to combine the wet and the dry ingredients, and I need you, or I'll do it. I need you to cover up the wine.
We got that spray at Aldi.
Yeah, we did.
Aldi.
Okay, so
Aldi.
we're gonna. You want to spray the shit out of it because you cannot fry banana bread out of a loaf pan.
Can't.
Well, you can, and it'll still be edible, but it'll be in chunks instead of slices.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. So, very important to have that done. And now, it doesn't really matter whether you add the wet to the dry or the dry to the wet. So, I am going to add the wet to the dry simply because I like the bottom of this bowl better than this bowl.
She's got a problem on mixer.
All right, can you get rid of that, Vanna? Thank you. Now, we're supposed to fold it in as much as you can. You will have to do some stirring.
And folding is different than stirring how?
Well, stirring is like this.
Okay.
Okay, stirring would be this. Folding is this.
Gotcha. Okay.
You'll see how it is starting to come together.
So when you're all done, you won't see any of like the white flour part and all that stuff. It'll just basically be a mix.
You might see it up here on the side of the bowl.
But you won't see it in
But you won't see it in this.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like that bread that you've got to flour and wait for it to rise. You've got to flour it so that it doesn't stick anywhere. It's not like that at all.
Gotcha.
This is much more like a cake. It's an intro bread.
By an introvert.
Okay, so
There'll be a thing on the bottom.
we're done. You see there's still flour on the bowl, as expected, right? Everything's all mixed in. You don't see flour anywhere. So now it's time to put it in the loaf pan.
And once you put it in here, how long do we cook it for?
Anywhere from 50, 55, even 60 minutes.
Jesus Christ, I gotta wait a fucking hour for this bread?
Yes, you do, but it's worth it.
So, that's the thing. So if you're preparing for your date night dinner, know that it's gonna take an hour, not including the prep time, which really, I know we've kind of slowed down to make sure we show you everything we're doing. But typically 15 minutes of prep time, an hour to cook, so make sure.
10. If you're not showing anybody anything, you can zip through it in 10.
Okay. So, and then, anywhere from 50 minutes to an hour. So prepare that time into your getting ready for your date night significant other. You can see over in the background we have, preparing for our dinner that we're going to have. While this is cooking, of course, that's for a different episode. We'll show you a different episode, but that's, we have this ready to make for our dinner. This is for the dessert part. So
there you go. That's how it's going to fit in your loaf pan. It's not going to be big. It's not going to be round. It's going to be like cake batter, okay? And it's going to basically just sit there until you put it in the oven and bake it.
350 for 50 to 60 minutes.
Check it at 50. Don't say, oh, well, last time I made banana bread, it was 55 minutes. Or, so-and-so makes banana bread, it's 55 minutes. Or it's 60 minutes. Check it at 50. Because your bananas will change. Your bananas will have different amounts of moisture. Your bananas will have different viscosity. Your bananas will have a different level of sugar that they bring to the table, to the banana bread. So it could always vary. So just check it at 50. We put it in at 8:39. I'm setting my timer now for 50 minutes because it's, again, you don't want to go past that.
And what we'll do is we'll come back, we'll take it out. If it takes a little longer, we'll tell you that when we take it out. We'll test it, try it, taste it, love it. But during that time, I'm actually going to do the date night dinner, which we'll show you in a different episode.
And I'm going to go chill on the sofa while he works hard.
Well, she just, pretty much. But anyway, so we'll be back in just a moment in your world, just a second, just to show you what it looks like and taste it and everything. So that's pretty much it. We'll be right back.
That's it. See you soon. All right. So it's been 50 minutes, and it's time to check the banana bread, see if it's done.
All right, let's take it. Get the hell out of the way.
I like to check my banana bread cakes, whatever. Use something that is wooden or bamboo or something. You don't want to use metal because metal will fool you. Using a metal fork will fool you into thinking that it's done when it's still a little gooey because it's smoother. It doesn't have enough texture. And the goo doesn't stick to the metal fork as well.
I did not know that. I learned something
new.
new. So let's go. I'm going to move over because you're doing this. Go ahead and take it out. And as you can see in the background, we're actually getting ready for the other part of the dinner, but that's
Look your every button. Check this. And there's no goo. So we got this thing out just in time.
So if it's clean, that means it's done, right?
Yes. Yes. If there is no goo, it's done.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Yep.
So we want to let this sit and cool for about 10 minutes. Then we want to pop this baby out. You don't want to leave it stay in here too long because then it's going to stick to the pan too much. And it'll be harder to slice and have it be pretty and all that good stuff.
Okay. All right, so we're back. Just so you know, we've pretty much sniffed it like it was,
Food. It's been 10 minutes, and it is now time for us to flip it out of the pan. So before you attempt to dump it out, take your spatula. Can they see this? I think so. Yeah. And make sure that everything has separated from the sides so that you're only separating the bottom from the pan. And try to get the corners if you can. Take it. You just flip it upside down, put it on the plate. Make sure that your pan is close to your plate when you do it. Don't flip like this because then your bread's going to go on the floor. There you go, Hannah. And And there you go.
All right, let's cut this puppy open. Oh my god, that looks amazing.
Beautiful, isn't it?
All right, let's cut this puppy open and.
I need a knife for that.
Oh, that'd be helpful. All right, that's good.
All right.
All right. So let's cut it open. See what it.
Let's cut it open. Now, normally.
Pinot Grigio while I'm doing it.
Now, normally, you will also let it cool on a wire rack if you have it. If you don't have a wire rack, just use your leftover bamboo chopsticks and prop it up on that.
Cut it open.
See how it's kind of crumbling there?
Yeah.
When it's cold, it won't do that. But I'm gonna eat crumbling
How did
banana
you
bread.
eat the first piece?
Because I made it.
All right, my turn. Holy crap, it's hot. I'm sorry. Fuck, it's hot. Thank you for watching. Oh no, put that on the plate. I'm not gonna fucking do that. All right, so I'm gonna pick this up. Thinks I'm gonna take a 300-degree piece of bread and fucking cut them out.
You really don't need a fork. It's bread.
It's bread. Yeah.
And actually, at its best, you put butter on it.
Oh my god, it's so good. Mm. Mm.
Go get me some butter, bitch.
Okay, Sarah,
That's the right way to do it.
So, hold on, man. Damn, that's good. So, not real long, what, about 10 minutes prep time if you do it without, just do it, go through
Without
it.
explaining it to people.
Like I said, 50 minutes cooking time, and boom, the best banana bread you could ever have in your life.
50 to 60 minutes.
50 to 60 minutes. We'll just show your significant other, spouse, loved one a phenomenal dessert, and again, as we said, you'll be cooking God. So, thank you all for watching. Amazing. Candace, we love having you, and I'm glad you're part of this. I'm glad you're here every week. It's fantastic. It makes us look so much better. And next Saturday night, 8 p.m., Cooking with Michael.
And Candace.
And Candace. Enjoy it. Watch, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Next Saturday night, 8 p.m., Cooking with Michael.
And Candace.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Wonder Twin Powers, activate. Form of cooks.
Bakers.
Oh, shit. All right. All right, ready?
So just check it at 50.
Give me your flare moves.
I did not know that, but I do now.
All right, so
Things a husband is good for.
that's pretty much all I've done for this episode is just to